Hey guys, Eugenia. I was driving in my car earlier today, and there's a song on one of the playlists that I listen to, that always reminds me of a story. Um, it's quite a heartfelt story, sort of thing. But basically, everyone's had a bad past. Okay, so the title of this video is going to be "Don't let your past define your present, your future." Um, Everyone has had some sort of thing happen in their childhood that is very traumatic, and whatever the case might be. And there's a lot of people with worse, way worse stories than I've got. But for instance, the one story I was listening to, as I say, listening to a song, and it always reminds me of my biological father. Um, my mom and my what I call my dad, who I call my dad, they went through a bit of a rough patch early on in their marriage, and one thing happened, and I during a separation, I was conceived. Um, and my biological dad, he, when he found out, A, he didn't believe it, and B, he left. And he wanted no part of me or my mom or whatever the case might be. The man that my mom was married to, who I call my dad, because he's a man, he's the man. I have a lot of respect and a lot of love for him, because he raised me as his own and still continues to do so to this day. Um, but for years, my biological dad, he hightailed it, and he was there. I think he saw me a handful of times until I was about seven, and then he said that he was moving to Canada, and I found all this out because of a marriage my mom was in later on, where this guy was very abusive, husband, father, whatever you want to call him. And he one night got really drunk and told me, "Oh, do you even know who your real dad is?" Blah blah blah. So my mom had to tell me the story of what happened and this and why he lives in Canada and he started a family, etc., etc. And for many many years, I felt hurt and felt rejected. How can someone that fathered you not want you, etc., etc. But as I grew up and I grew older and stuff like that, I began my search basically, and I started to try and find my biological dad. He's not my father. My father's the man that raised me. Let me just make that clear, because I know that there could be some sort of whatever. I don't. And when I was older, I started looking. When I was in the UK, obviously, when this song came out, and I'll put the link down below. It's full to take your picture, take my picture. And when this song came out, it kind of touched me, and I wanted to locate them. And I remember going through like the Canadian version of the Yellow Pages, which is called the 411. And I no no sorry, I started off by emailing, Facebook friending, not friending, but messaging every single person that had my dad's name that lived in Canada. And my mom kind of thought that his new wife was named Elizabeth, so everyone that had the name Elizabeth and the surname, I messaged to find out if they'd ever lived in South Africa, etc., etc. Which that was no, there was no luck in that. And a few years back, about 3-4 years ago, I was on this path again of finding them, because I knew that I had half brother and half sister, which they are now. We've made touch. We know who we are, and we've met each other recently in the last couple of years. They're in their 30s now. So that was very nice. I never got to meet my biological dad, my stepdad, my biological dad, because he passed away a couple of years prior to that. So I never ever got to say my piece, or even just go stand there and just go, and thanks, bud. And just, I don't know what I was expecting. But as this video is titled, don't let your past define your future. And what I'm trying to say with this video is, yes, it will define you in a way, but don't let it ever hold you back. Don't let it ever, I can't do this because I wasn't whatever loved or cuddled enough, or whatever the case might be. Everyone's gone through some really bad shit in their life, and that doesn't, you can't look at that as a negative thing. You've got to try and find the positives. Not try and find the positives, there's always positives. Yes, it's made me the person I am. Yes, it's made me, it's defined moments of my character, you know what I mean, your fundamental, like, I won't ever abandon any future kid I ever have, you know what I mean? Like, it's given me that, it hasn't been a crutch, let's put it that way, there we go. It hasn't been a crutch. If anything, it's been a spur. You must use those, whatever bad things have happened in your life, if you dwell on them, they're just going to bring you down. If you use them as a motivating spur, nothing's going to stop you. You are going to be able to fight for everything you want, because you've overcome some really tragic things in your life already. What is a business meeting? What is going and seeing a client? You know what I mean? What is reading a book? What is learning a new subject? What is changing your life completely? Got it, like, you've gone through the worst already. The rest is just, you just got to figure it out. There's every problem, there's at least 2-3 solutions. I try and find solutions to every problem that is ever presented to me. That way, when the actual problem does arise, half the time you've already just solved it, because you've already came up with a plan a while back, and now you've just implemented it unconsciously, you know what I mean? Subconsciously. Subconsciously. You've just already, like, moved on, and you find that those people that have had those struggles, that have gone through some really bad stuff, and I'm going to put some more videos together on this, because I'd like to document some of the very defining moments of what has made me, the events in my life that have occurred, what have made me this determined, this strong-willed, wanting to help other people sort of person. But yes, it was just something that came up while I was driving, and it was a memory, and I just wanted to document this. So anyway, guys, have a great day. Catch you in another video.